views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Hello, this is Patty Hunter with Patty's Page. Today I'm doing a special Christmas show, and it's going to be for the year 2015. It will be shown on Christmas Day or just before. Today's guests will be Terry Doran, reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Our second guest will be David Nichols, who will be talking about his moments in overseas in the Gulf War back in 1989, Christmas there when he was in the Army. My third and fourth guest will be Jane Dickmeyer and his wife Jane. They'll be talking about early Christmases. And also, my next guest will be on Skype. Her name is Monica Kelsey. She's a pro-life speaker. And we're going to say Merry Christmas to each other, and we'll have that on Skype. And at the end of the show, there will be a video that my friend from Canada, her name is Kathy Shortt, it's going to be called Sweet Honey, and it's all about children. So this is a really, really wonderful Christmas show, and I hope you like it. Be with you in a moment.
'Twas the Night Before Christmas by Clement Clark Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all smug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away all. As leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my bed and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came, with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
This is David Nichols,
Hi.
and you have been overseas as an army.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me about one of your memories overseas for Christmas.
Okay, for Christmas, it would have been December of 1989. Was there during Desert Shield and into Desert Storm in the first Gulf War. We had a pole that we set up, and we string lights from the top of the pole down to the ground, and voila, we had a Christmas tree. So
Did you get gifts from overseas, or?
we had people, family, friends, and people just all over the United States were amazing for soldiers all over Saudi Arabia. They had the Any Soldier mail, you might remember, and there was Any Soldier gifts and packets. There was so much stuff. There was an abundance of gifts. Sometimes they had so many gifts we had to spread them around to the other units, because our unit itself had almost too much. So yeah, it was for being away from family and friends, it was still a sight to behold. You know, all the thanks we could give for people that was thinking of us, you know, since we couldn't be with our family and friends.
Were you married at that time?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Married and had young son at home with my wife, and yeah.
So how long were you over there?
I was there in Saudi for 9 months, and I was in Iraq for a month.
Yeah, you must have seen a lot of stuff a normal person would not see.
Yes, yeah, that's the truth. A lot of stuff that would rather not have seen. But
Did you help the families over there, in their country, or?
you know, there was a company called Aramco, still there today in Saudi Arabia. They employ people from all over the world,
Oh yeah.
and what they would do was during Christmas and Thanksgiving and Christmas, they would sponsor several soldiers at a time and actually bring them into their home.
Oh.
And we did that for Thanksgiving, and then again for Christmas, where you know they would have you celebrate with the families, and so it was real. It was quite interesting, and it helped take your mind off of not being able to be with your own family and friends.
Were they mostly? Were there a lot of Christians over there? The people who lived there.
Yes.
Or, were there?
Christians, yes.
And Muslims, of course.
Yep. Christians and Muslims, and yeah, all the
They
above.
all worked together, which is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. The majority of Muslims, worshiping Muslims that I've ever met were all peaceful people,
Gentle people.
and so I'm fortunate in that regard, where so much is going on in our country, but a lot to be thankful for this Christmas, being there and back from there. And here today with you.
So, thank you. So, when you were over there overseas, what did you have for Christmas dinner?
Christmas dinner. I think we had some of the favorites. Turkey and ham. Like I said, we were our unit. Our soldiers they separated us anywhere from 5, 3, or several with families that sponsored our whole unit.
They would have like lamb.
So actually lamb. I tried a dish. It was an hors d'oeuvres with
Don't sound.
jalapeno jelly and crackers, and I'd never tried that before, and I was instantly loved it. Yeah. Oysters.
Sheep eyes, did they?
No. I never tried anything extravagant as that I know of, or that I remember.
Well, thank you. So, what kind of Christmas how do you celebrate it here in Fort Wayne?
Celebrate it with family and usually grandchildren, children, and parents.
This guy, grandchildren. Oy. Thank
Not
you.
our parents this year, but we're the parents. But thank you, Patty.
Thank you for coming on to my show. David Nichols, and he's one of my crew, Patty's Page, and I'd like to thank you for coming over and bringing such a nice dish,
Thank you so much.
sharing with us. Thank you. We'll go with another guest in a minute, so catch you later and be with you in a moment. And my next guest today is John Dickmeyer and his wife Jane, and they're going to be talking about Christmas in Germany and when he was growing up.
Well, I'm John Dickmeyer, and I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And what I thought we would do is share some memories of before Christmas with all of you. I was going through some of my treasured memories in a box, and I haven't seen all of these things for some time. But back in the late 1940s and early 1950s, one of the things that a lot of the parents did was to go to the big department store in Fort Wayne, Wolf and Dessauer, and see Santa. So we have 5 years of me growing up, and I started to go to see Santa at age 4, and we can show you that particular, the cover and the actual folder that has the picture. And we'll flip and we'll take a look at how I grew up in a year, and that was 1950. And then 1951. And I must say that then the next year was 1952. And 1952 for me was not really a very good year. I was ill that year, and so I didn't make it to see Santa. But I remember something else happened that year, and that's the year that television came to Fort Wayne. And Wolf and Dessauer sponsored an interview program that a number of you may remember, Santa in Wonderland. And Santa was on TV, hosted by Hilliard Gates, who was a sportscaster at Channel 33. And almost from the beginning of the TV station, every Christmas for many years, Hilliard Gates had a daily program where everybody that came in to see Santa was on TV, all the way up to Christmas Eve. That was the last program of the season. So comes 1953, and I was really a scared young man. I didn't want to be on TV. I'd do anything to stay off of TV. So I told my mother, this year I'd like to go see Santa when the TV isn't there. And so my picture was at a time when there was no TV. And then 1954, and by that time I was a little bit older, and I told my mother, this is the last year I'm going to go see Santa. And that was the last picture. So you've seen me grow, and that's what's happened to a lot of memories. As we take pictures, there you go. You become older and older and older. So that's my memory for Christmas in Fort Wayne.
How about the one in Germany when you went to visit your daughter?
Well, that wasn't a Christmas memory, but Jane and I went to Germany not too long ago. November 12th. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Got on the plane in Fort Wayne, and that was the day that it was very, very windy. Do you remember, Patty? It was really windy that day, wasn't it?
Yes, we were afraid the plane wouldn't get up.
Well, the plane didn't have any trouble getting out. We were swept up into the air, and we got to Atlanta, and went from Atlanta to Germany. And when we got to Germany, we weren't met by anybody. We took the German train from the airport in 2 stages to Emden, where my granddaughter lives. And we got to see our granddaughter, didn't we?
Yes.
And who's our granddaughter, Jane?
Our granddaughter is Annika.
And what can you say about Annika?
She's a very bright, almost 2-year-old. She's very talkative. And
Annika is very talented, you know, being almost 2. She can say no 3 ways. And that's interesting, but she can also say Oma, which is
grandmother,
and Opa, which is
grandfather.
and when she says that, she has the biggest smile. Annika also likes her desserts, doesn't she? Yeah,
I
we
think so.
we were traveling in downtown Emden, and we had to stop because Annika was hungry, and we stopped for donut holes for Annika. She went through those rather quickly, and she wanted more.
That's one of her favorite words. More.
More, yes, more. So Annika knows German, and Annika knows English, and she uses them interchangeably. That's what it's all about, being bilingual.
Thank you for sharing about your Christmas past and your granddaughter. So thank you, John Dickmeyer and Jane, for coming on to my Christmas show. And we'll see you right after this. Here we have Monica Kelsey and Joe Kelsey. And you are wishing us a Merry Christmas and everything like that. Congratulations, Joe, on you becoming the new mayor of Woodburn.
Thank you.
When do you start being the mayor?
January 1st.
Then, oh, that's not far off.
No, it's not.
A few weeks.
It's coming quicker than you think.
Well, Merry Christmas. Are you having a good time there in Indianapolis?
Oh, it's always a good time with the Knights of Columbus. They're an amazing organization, and they've backed the Safe Haven baby boxes from day one. So it's always a good time down here educating these guys on the Safe Haven law and the baby boxes.
How far is that going? How is it going, coming along?
We're going to have the first box in the first location within 90 days. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
moving right along.
So we're,
In Woodburn.
Yeah.
in Woodburn. Where?
Yeah, I know the mayor there, so it was a little easier to get him to agree to it, you know. It's good to have connections.
I was gonna, whereabouts in Woodburn? Do you
At
know?
the fire station.
Fire station.
Yeah, the Safe Haven law requires a woman to drop a child that's less than 30 days old. Has to be at a fire station, police station, or hospital. So we've chosen the fire station there in Woodburn as the very first location for the Safe Haven baby box. So exciting things happening in Indiana and in Woodburn.
Have you talked to Casey Cox for a while? Or
I talked to Casey yesterday, actually. He's excited. He's actually swearing Joe in on his
oh,
first day, so
First week, yeah.
that's pretty exciting.
I gotta have you guys back on my show, you two together, so we can talk about you being a mayor, you know.
Isn't this
Great,
exciting,
welcome.
Patty?
And what's
We've
it like?
stepped up in the world now. We know a mayor.
What's it like to be a future first lady?
Well, I'm probably not. I'm gonna have to watch my mouth a little more. I think. No, you know, I'm
You do all
excited for Joe to start this position and for him to take on what Dick has already started, our current mayor now. You know, Mayor Epner's done an amazing job, and I'm excited to see Joe continue the progress that's been going on in Woodburn.
Are you still going?
I was going to say it's a really great opportunity because I've cared about my community all my life. And now I have a chance to make a difference. So, real
So
excited.
January 1st, what's your first thing, your first duty? Do you know?
Well,
I've already made a serious executive decision. I decided what Halloween is going to be next year.
Oh boy. God bless you all.
hey, that's important stuff in Woodburn.
Yeah, we
Is
have
it?
some challenges coming up.
Oh.
Ready to take it on.
What are you going to do for Christmas, you two?
Spend it with family.
Ah.
That's important for us. Our family is so important, and our youngest is 16. She'll graduate high school in 2 years, and and then it's just Joe and I, and then we're gonna have to learn, I guess, to talk to each other. Then,
Empty nest, empty nest.
Empty
Right
nest, yeah.
here.
So
Well, how,
family's very important. My parents are still alive. We'll be
Oh.
going to my parents and Joe's mom. So yeah, lots of good times coming around the corner.
are you still going speaking pro-life all over the United States or the world, or how is your tour?
I have actually. I've been more busy this year than I think I ever have. You know, speaking and speaking not only on my story, my birth mother's story, but also on the baby boxes now, and you know the impact that they're going to make to the state of Indiana and these babies that that are being abandoned today. Hopefully they'll be saved. We'll be able to save some tomorrow when these boxes get implemented. So we're excited, but yeah, I'm still traveling. It takes
Yeah.
a lot out of you.
Yeah. You going to spend a little more time with the mayor?
I think I might just, he actually drove all the way down to Indy. I haven't seen him in 7 days.
Wow.
And he drove all the way down to Indy today to listen to me speak here in Indianapolis. So I think he's a keeper.
I think so too. What do you think of her?
Pardon me?
What do you think, Joe, of your wife being a pro-life tour speaker?
I am in awe every day when I see her, how she has changed her life and my life. I'm married up.
Heavens and Murgatroyd. Anyways, thank you for coming on my Christmas show. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too,
Merry Christmas
Patty.
to you too.
Joyeux Noel. Feliz Navidad. To hold. Anyways, and Happy New Year. And I will see you in the new year. You'll be on my Patty's Page regular show.
Yep,
Right.
call
Ready,
us.
Art?
We'll be there.
Okie dokie. We
All
love
right,
you
Patty.
and God bless.
Bye.
Hello. This is towards the end of the show. So I want to read you the Christmas story written by me, the year 2006. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus, Son of God, came down from heaven and with the help of the Holy Spirit became man, of whom the Blessed Virgin named Mary gave birth. Both Mary and Joseph were also from the house of David, and they became engaged when she was a young woman. The angel of the Lord came to her one night and said to her she will bear a son, called Emmanuel, Son of Peace, and he will bring a double-edged sword into the world, one side of the sword being salvation to his people, and the other death and damnation to the evil and unbelievers. After the angel of the Lord had spoken to Mary, the Holy Spirit came down from heaven, and Mary became pregnant with our Lord. Although she was a sinner, she'd found favor with God, and he had blessed Mary with the greatest gift of all. The King of Kings, Lord of Lords, was soon to be born into the world, to fulfill what the Holy Scripture had foretold. Jesus was to be called Son of God and Son of Man, thus fulfilling the prophets what they had written. The prophets had ended with Jesus' cousin, John the Baptist. John was the voice of the one crying in the wilderness, who first baptized many. When Joseph found out that the Virgin Mary was with child, he was afraid what would happen to her. You see, in those days, an unwed mother was stoned to death. Shamed, Joseph planned on sending Mary away. When Joseph was sleeping that night, an angel of the Lord came to Joseph's dream, into Joseph's dream, and said not to be ashamed of Mary, for she has indeed been chosen to give birth to our Son, our Creator's Son, because God had found favor in Mary. After Joseph woke up, he took Mary and wed her. But Joseph didn't touch her, for he knew that she was pregnant with the Holy Child. When Mary was showing, she went to her cousin Elizabeth. Elizabeth was with child herself, and she was 6 months along. When Elizabeth saw Mary, Elizabeth's child leaped with joy inside her. Elizabeth and her husband Zechariah would call their son John. Elizabeth said that truly the Virgin Mary was blessed among all women. After Mary went back home, Joseph found out they were to go to Bethlehem for the census, for Joseph and Mary's lineage was from there. When they arrived in Bethlehem, with Mary riding on a donkey, she started into labor. They had to find a place soon, for she was due to give birth any time. They went to an inn, but had been refused a room and were turned away. As they started to leave, the owner of the inn said he had a barn and that Joseph and Mary could go there to rest. That night, Jesus was born. When this baby Jesus was born, a multitude of angels appeared in the sky from heaven, shouting, "Glory to the God on high, glad tidings for people on earth, for Emmanuel has been born." Shepherds, minding their flocks, that night had seen the angels and were very afraid. But they are told not to be frightened, for the Lord on high was made man. The Son of God was here on earth to give sinners salvation. A bright and shining star was over the barn where the Virgin Mary and Joseph were with Jesus, a little baby Jesus. The shepherds found the Christ child in a manger. Jesus had been wrapped in swaddling clothes. Joseph and Mary called their child Jesus, who is our Messiah, Emmanuel, Prince of Peace, and Lord of Lords, King of Kings, of the unending kingdom. Jesus was the Son of Man and Son of God, who came down from heaven, was made man to save us all. Several wise men who, from afar and wide, found out about the Christ child, went to him and offered him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold for his royal highness, fragrances for prayers of sins, and myrrh for the future burial as foretold in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Through his crucifixion, our salvation had been completed. May God bless you all, and may he keep you and yours safely in the palms of his holy hands. Amen.
Flying kites and daffodils, far away fairy tales, butterflies and Ferris wheels, catfish breathing Looney Tunes, rainbows. Dark blue, hummingbirds and bumblebees, and oh, sweet honey. hummingbirds and bumblebees, and sweet honey. Good night, sweet dreams, baby, just close your eyes. Good night, and I'll hold you tight. I'll sing to you this lullaby.